Livingston, New Jersey. In the middle of this quiet town lined with single-story buildings, behind the unassuming gray concrete facade, thousands of high-performance computing units are running non-stop at this very moment. This facility is the computational heart of artificial intelligence and the headquarters of one of the most mysterious companies drawing global investor attention. The company is CoreWeave. CoreWeave was founded in 2017 as a US-based company. Initially established to mine cryptocurrency, the company started by acquiring large quantities of high-performance graphics processing units, or GPUs, to mine Ethereum. At that time, the company operated under the name Atlantic Crypto. But within just a few years, it made a dramatic pivot. Around 2019, CoreWeave transitioned to a business model that provides high-performance computing infrastructure to external clients. Within only a few more years, the company rose rapidly to become one of the most talked about infrastructure providers in the generative AI space. Typically, for a company providing AI infrastructure to secure long-term contracts worth billions of dollars with major clients, it would need at least a decade of accumulated performance, proven operational stability, meaningful profit margins, and a solid capital structure. But CoreWeave appeared to bypass all of those prerequisites as it began to land massive contracts at an incredible pace. In March 2025, CoreWeave signed its first major deal with OpenAI, valued at approximately $12 billion. Just 2 months later, in May, an additional $4 billion was added to the deal. Then in September, another $6.5 billion followed, bringing the total contract volume with a single client to $22.4 billion. This figure is more than just large. It implies that the entire AI industry is relying on CoreWeave for compute infrastructure. All of these contracts were reflected in CoreWeave's backlog, or outstanding order volume. As of August 2025, the company reported a total backlog exceeding $30 billion. Normally, backlog figures are interpreted positively as they indicate future revenue visibility. But in CoreWeave's case, the structure of the backlog itself raises serious questions. The composition of the backlog is unusual. It is divided into firm commitments and other types of arrangements, with the latter lacking disclosure on terms such as execution conditions, revenue recognition timing, or cancellation clauses. Most U.S. publicly traded companies explain these contract terms transparently in their filings so investors can properly assess them. CoreWeave does not. This makes it impossible for outsiders to determine how much of the $30 billion plus backlog can realistically be converted into revenue. What's more, the company's revenue is highly concentrated. As of 2024, Microsoft alone accounted for approximately 62% of total revenue, and the top 2 clients combined made up 77%. In the B2B cloud industry, it is standard practice to keep reliance on any single client below 20%. CoreWeave's level of concentration is highly unusual and implies that even a minor change in purchasing strategy by one client could destabilize the company's entire revenue base. Given such large-scale orders, how is CoreWeave building the infrastructure needed to fulfill them? The answer lies in asset-backed lending. In August 2023, CoreWeave raised approximately $2.3 billion by using its high-end GPUs, produced by NVIDIA, as collateral. Then in May 2024, the company secured an additional $7.5 billion from private equity firms such as Blackstone and Magnetar. In August 2025, it executed another $2.6 billion in equipment-backed loans. In total, CoreWeave has raised over $10 billion in secured debt within just 3 years. This is where the real mystery begins. NVIDIA's H100, GB200, and Blackwell chips are not assets that can be obtained with cash alone. These devices are subject to U.S. export controls, limited supply, and prioritization protocols. Furthermore, their lead times, the duration from order to delivery, typically range from 9 to 12 months or longer. Operating such hardware also requires complex infrastructure, including ultra-high voltage power, advanced cooling systems, expansive facilities, and highly specialized personnel. Despite these constraints, CoreWeave has managed to acquire thousands of such GPUs in just a few years, used them as loan collateral, and converted them into client-facing infrastructure. This operating model is fundamentally different from the norm. This anomaly suggests one critical hypothesis: CoreWeave might not be just an infrastructure provider. Rather, it could be a vertically structured platform that secures hardware based on client demand, collateralizes it for funding, and redeploys it back to those same clients. In other words, the company might be functioning as a structured intermediary within a closed financial loop. Such a structure can operate efficiently in the short term, but only under three conditions. First, the collateral value of GPUs must remain intact. Second, financial institutions must continue to supply liquidity. Third, client demand must remain stable. If any one of these pillars collapses, the entire structure could unravel in a cascading failure. As of 2025, CoreWeave's annualized revenue stood at around $3.5 billion, a seemingly impressive growth rate. But the company also posted a net loss of approximately $1.1 billion in the same period. Despite this, the market values the company at about $62 billion in market capitalization. This valuation is not based on earnings, but on future expectations and backlog potential. But if the foundations of those expectations, contracts, assets, and capital flows are opaque and unverifiable, the entire valuation could be little more than an illusion. So we must ask, is CoreWeave a genuine infrastructure company with real assets, or is it a high-risk financial platform operating within a precariously engineered ecosystem, entirely dependent on one or two clients? And if so, how long can that system survive? What are your thoughts? If there's a public or private stock or a crypto project that you're curious about, leave a comment below. Your suggestions help shape the next episode of Valuester. This was Valuester.